is going on, HKD? Just wanted to check in with you guys. Um, so we were looking for that $8.06, I think, to the downside last time, hoping that that would be the deep dive. And we are at $7.83 as right now in the post market, and we did get a little bit of our deep dive below our trend line. That's one of the things that we've just been watching, as far as, because we don't really know when and where HKD bounces. We're just trying to figure it out. But whenever we get those deep dives below our trend line, that seems to be where we see that little pop in the charts. And then obviously it's still making its trend downward. We've been watching this trend for quite some time right now. So what I was kind of just checking back in with, right here's our dive below our trend line. We get the little bounce. Right now we're diving below our trend line. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be our bounce as far as the RSI goes. Maybe it wants to do a little bit further dive. So let's just look at some of the levels, look at some of the numbers, and see maybe if anything makes sense. I will tell you, I do still have my HKD position. I have added a little bit more. Let me see. I'll tell you what my average is. I don't know if you care or not. My average is $8.41 as of right now. I am down 6.63% in my position in HKD. I keep watching it as far as this trend line goes, and I just add a little bit more. Otherwise, I would be down a little bit further than 6% for sure. But I'm just watching this lower trend line. So if you guys want to watch the lower trend line, I mean, honestly, it's going to depend on where it hits, when it hits. But I mean, we're in the lower sevens right here, from like 710 to 740, somewhere in that range, depending on how hard or how fast it wants to come down. If it wants to take its time and leak on down, then we're $6.50 to $7 range. I don't know. I mean, if they're not diluting, this is a long downtrend, but we know that it goes through these kind of spells where it just makes a long downtrend consolidation type of pattern, and then it just pops out of nowhere. So our previous low, I think, was up here around $9.45, and we have made our way below there. So I'm just waiting to see how dead the RSI needs to go before we get that next pop up. We do have our trend line that has been catching our wicks up here, as you can see, and that would be sitting somewhere in, I guess, 965, $10 range, depending on when or if it hits there. I would like to see it pop and break above there. I don't like to be in plays. I don't know how some of you guys trade stocks, honestly. I'm more of an options trader because I like to either make my money or cut my losses right away, and just sitting in a position absolutely kills me. But I'm doing it, so I'm just watching to see, how and when it wants to make that move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we're like, 2 weeks in now, and all it's doing is just trending down. There's not even very many opportunities to really get yourself out of here if you've been in longer than 2 weeks. So you're either watching yourself to the downside, making sure that you're protecting your accounts, or your DCA, and there's really no other option as far as what the charts are even allowing. It's just a continuous steady downtrend. So watch those lower levels, like I said, somewhere between 705 maybe to $7.50, and then be watching how it responds up here around $9.75 to $10, depending on when or where we hit it. Draw up a few trend lines. I would say, take this one off of the candle bodies, which is kind of creating our bull flag that hopefully breaks to the upside at some point. You got your lows, obviously you can do that, and then take one off of your wicks as well, because that's an area that it often likes to touch. So see how it breaks out of your bull flag, and then up here your wick area, and see if it gets rejected, or see if it wants to break and hold and continue to move to the upside if and when that time comes. Also draw up your bottom trend line, just so that you're not FOMOing in. You don't want to be FOMOing in if you're already trying to DCA. The worst thing you could do is be buying at the top of these candles, thinking, "Oh man, I'm gonna miss it, and I gotta add my 10 more shares or whatever right now." Patience plays out a lot of times in the stock market, and it's just one of those things that you'll get accustomed to as time goes on. But just keep an eye on what we're doing, because as of right now, I don't see a whole lot of signs of strength. But that's one of the things about HKD. It doesn't really tell us when it's going to move. So if you're DCAing, you're watching your bottom line. And if you're hoping for the run, then you're watching if it's going to break out of A or B. And if not, then, hey, are you green? Are you not? And make your decision from there. So let's just continue to see what happens as far as HKD goes. Like I said, I'm still in here. I'm waiting for the bounce. I feel like it's done it so many times in the past that why not one more time? So let's see how it goes. I hope you guys had a good day in the markets. I will catch you in the next one. As always, stay golden, people, and may your accounts stay green.